All right, guys, today we are going to solve one-step and two-step equations. So first of all, what's an equation? An equation always has an equal sign. And then what we're going to use is inverse operations to solve. And inverse operations are operations that undo each other. And when solving equations, we use inverse operations to get the variable by itself. Okay, so let's talk about these inverse operations. The inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of multiplication is division, and then also vice versa. All right, guys, let's try some. So number one, you're trying to get x alone. So what I like to do is always draw a wall through the equal sign, and then I look at the number that's by the variable, and I do the inverse operation to both sides to balance the equation. So the inverse of adding 7 would be subtracting 7. But you got to do it to both sides to keep it balanced. Now, when you subtract a 7 over, it cancels. And now we're left with x equals. And then you just do this. What's 4 minus 7? And that's negative 3. And you could do a calculator or by hand. Okay, now I would have you guys pause the video and try this one. Okay, so this one, draw the wall. And then whichever one is by the x, you do the inverse operation. The inverse of subtracting 12 would be adding 12. Okay, and when you minus a 12 and plus a 12, it cancels now. So we're left with x equals, and 3 plus 12 is 15. All right, moving on. Number 3. So number 3, the inverse of negative 6 times x is to divide by negative 6. Remember, the inverse of multiplication is division. So these cancel, and x is going to be 48 divided by negative 6 is negative 8. Okay, number 4. I'm going to draw the wall. The inverse of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. And the inverses cancel, and 5 times 4, x equals 20. All right, number 5. The inverse of multiplying by negative 2/7 is dividing both sides by negative 2/7. Okay, the inverses cancel, and x equals, now here's a trick, dividing is also the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So we could also do 4 times 7 over negative 2, if that's any easier. But in the calculator, you guys will do it. You end up getting negative 14. Either way. All right, number 6, you would draw the wall. The inverse of minus 2 is plus 2. It doesn't matter that it's on the other side. The inverses cancel. And it looks like the answer is t equals 8. 8 equals t is the same as t equals 8. All right, guys. Let's flip it over. Actually, let's stop that one right now and see if there's any questions.